I don't know if you are prohibited from doing integration because you may have a contract or you're exclusive to your label or whoever it is or what you're doing. But if you're not, this is the best time for us to come together and really make African, because I feel like Afro beats is one style. You still have many styles of African music that we have not explored to the world. And it's so easy. I'm working with a bunch of artists from Zimbabwe and Congo and Ghana, Kitty. And I find when I got a call from, I don't know if you guys know of Sifo. Sifo is the actual, he's the president of Def Jam. So I got on the phone with him, and he said to me, what you've done with the African artists is the answer to my question of why is it that like really went like Michael Jackson, beat it, whatever record, his biggest record. Of course it's bubbling, but bubbling is not like really making a big impact. Of course it's getting out there. But what makes it bigger? Integration. So when I did a couple of remixes, and I worked on this Kitty song, and I worked on a Folly song, and a young kid by the name of Natio, and still doing more things. I've been called just to do remixes and just like, can you change our record? I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And it's not about, I want to do the whole record or I want to take it over. If you can play one part, you take over one part and you do that, send it to me, integration, I'll do my part, send it to him and he'll do his part, then it becomes one song. And I've done many sessions like that. In fact, I just finished a session for Christmas. I did 2 Christmas songs for my partner and his new artist, and I said, just give me the song, let me take what they have, and let me do what I do. I did what I did, and we created a song called Very Merry Christmas, and then I also did Silent Night, which may be on Apple. And we turned it into something like Take 6, and I can play it for you all if you would like to hear it, just to understand about what integration is. This song was done in 3 different places. So it went from the actual principal, came to me, I reformed the song, sent it to my vocal producer. He did his thing on top of it. It's being mastered tomorrow. So that's what integration is. And if you all are willing to, let's integrate, we'll do some things together. We'd love to get everybody's information. So, just so that you all know, again, I'm not Hollywood. I'm not here to take over anything. I'm here to be a solution and help where I can, get in where I fit in. And if we all can do that, we're all going to be great together. And we're all going to make some music together. And it doesn't have to be one style. It's everything. Because I'm sure everybody have difference. We have gospel. We have Afro beats, we have R&B, and we have classic African music, and it goes on as far as we can take it. So I would like to answer questions if you all have questions, and we can get this thing going. Anyone?
All right, I have a microphone here. We're doing integration here. I'm going to take that for camera's sake. So we'll take questions.
How am I taking this?
Questions? Let me take the first question. Integration, I like that word. When you started.
What's that?
When you started, how to pretty much build what New Jack Swing came to be. You had a beginning somewhere. Right. You had ragtime, jazz, blues, you had funk, soul, then hip-hop, and then to where, you took New Jack Swing
right.
and beyond. So coming here, in a place like Rwanda, for example, where it's like we have jumped over so many stages.
Mm-hmm.
Like we went from traditional music with no electricity, right, to somehow some other styles that related to Congo, with electronic instrument, to nothing, then to today. How big of a challenge you think you're going to encounter? I mean, how do you plan to work it out, this integration?
Well, understand, Afro beats came from traditional. New Jack Swing came from R&B. New Jack Swing is an integration style because I took R&B, jazz, funk, blues, no diggity, and just put it all in one. That's integration. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be the people or it could be the music. So you're taking different styles and you're putting it all in one bag, and what you're going to come out with, you never know. And that's how New Jack Swing was actually formed. We did gospel. I did the whinings. It's time to make that change. So I took R&B and married it to go-go and add the influences of gospel. But I didn't go all the way. Why? Because kids want to hear hip-hop in gospel music. They want to hear R&B in gospel music. And why? I did it a long time ago, 30 years ago. And now what you hear gospel with hip-hop. You hear gospel with R&B, gospel with jazz, gospel with everything. That's integration, you all. So I feel like New Jack Swing, for me, is still around because everybody's still integrating music and styles. Singing and rapping on a record is New Jack Swing. And that's where it came from. I mean, it started with Marley Marl and, a lot of the producers, DMX and all of the guys back in the day, we just wanted to just do music, but we didn't know what we were doing. We came from the streets. We came from the projects. We came from the ghetto, and we just tried our luck and, been blessed with major records that made us, popular. And I feel like anyone can actually do this. Anyone can do it. I mean, I've seen artists come up and just make a smash, but most artists, they'll make a smash and they feel like, yo, I made it. And they don't continue. You keep studying, and that's what I did. When I did New Jack Swing, I never stopped studying and I never stopped figuring out what's the next. And I feel like, I'm not the only one. I know that we all can do it. It just takes us pushing each other. And that's what it's going to take. So, any other question?
Thank you. Yes, Eric. It's Mr. Afro Groove.
Teddy,
How are you?
greetings. Big fan of yours. I started the whole DJ thing in '89. So when New Jack Swing came, I was into Cool Moody, Go See the Doctor. So I knew who you were, what you were doing, and when your sound came through, it just saved the life of a lot of DJs, because at the time there was like all that R&B, all that shiny mid-'80s stuff, and I was a young kid growing into hip hop. So your sound really solved a lot of solutions because we were able to integrate very polished R&B, clean cut R&B sound with the hip hop. There was more street, more attitude, and you created a soundtrack for that integration. That's beautiful. So I wanted to ask you, when you talk about the origin and take them together, what in your career, because you had the track that you would say that define that concept of integration, where you could take all those elements to create that new thing. What is the track, according to you, that define that moment where you were just like, this is it?
It's a few tracks. I can tell you that Dougie Fresh the Show. Did Dougie Fresh the Show. I was actually, we went to the same high school. And when we went to school, I didn't know him. And then I wanted somebody to introduce me to him because I've been a fan since I was 16 years old. And I was just a nobody and going to my school, and I seen him, and I was fanning out and saying, you know, somebody said, I want to introduce you to Dougie Fresh. And when I met Dougie Fresh, he's like, man, I want to come over, I want to show you my music. And he showed me the show. And it was actually all over the place. It was a bunch of commercials. But the actual hook of the song was there, everything was there. But when these commercials came on, it just felt like the music just stopped. So how do you keep the music going while those commercials are happening? And it was just one thing. It doesn't take a lot to make something. And all it took was the shaker. Shh, 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 shh. And everybody just kept dancing when they heard the commercials. So that was the one thing that I integrated into his actual track that made that track what it is today, and still a classic rap record. You don't really find a lot of classic rap records. You know, you can actually say, okay, the Biggie records are the classics, the Dougie Fresh, and then some of the Diddy records, and then you got a lot of the artists out there who don't know that their records are classics. So that's one of them, My Prerogative. When I did My Prerogative, it was actually me and Aaron Hall. Aaron Hall wrote the lyrics. I wrote the hook. I write the hooks to mostly all of my songs. And when I did My Prerogative, I was just messing around with the music. And also I want you all to know that I only had one keyboard. One keyboard, one drum machine. That's the Korg DDD-1 and the D50. That D50, you can name a lot of my songs. Remember the Time, Kissing Games, I Like, Mary J. Blige, My Love. All these records I've done with with D50. All I did was modify the sounds and change them and save it, go from there, change it again, the same sound. And that's what made, and same thing, Key Sweat, I Wanna. Same, I did that with one keyboard that I borrowed from the studio. I couldn't afford it. So I would go to people's studios and learn the keyboards and learn the drum machines and learn everything and just start making music. And it comes out to be something, and then if they want to hear it again, I have to go back to that studio because I don't have those instruments. So that's another one. No Diggity. No Diggity was a song that we spent about 2 months on, and that's because I didn't like the way it sounded, and I was just trying to get it there. And finally, I just came up with the solution. I cut the actual sample in 8 pieces. So that's separate. That was just a keyboard, a hit from the Roland 770. I had all those hits, and there was a piano sound, and that's that piano sound. Da 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 da. So I cut the Bill Withers sample in 8 pieces. And that was it. That became the song. And then I went in with my brother, Ty Fife, and he pulled out the SB 1200, and that's how we got that reverse. And that's how No Diggity was formed. So what I did was I called Ty Fife. I got this guy over here and my brother who actually passed away who wrote the lyrics with me, and that's Will Stewart. That's, like I said, I've been doing integration from the beginning of my career. You know, I work with a lot of people, and that's from me being in the studio, and that's why I said we can go back to the tradition. Why? Because most of us forget where we come from with music, where it come from. And they take it and they make it theirs. Me, I never made it mine. It was an influence from Bill Withers, an influence from Barry White, and all of our heroes. And we have a lot of African music heroes. And we're not going back to them. If we go back to them, I'm even talking about with the gospel too. I listen to traditional music more than I listen to music today. Why? Because I know that's going to give me my sound for 2030. Nobody, and not a lot of people, they don't go back and play those records. And they can find it. It's all over the internet. You can find any traditional record out there and be influenced by it, even gospel. And that's what I've been. I've been influenced all my life from our heroes. Now, in African music, I'm so influenced. I'm studying every day. And I'm going to come out with something that's going to blow your mind because I feel like nobody's doing it. And if you think that way, I want to do something nobody ain't doing, but I'm going to give it a twist because, of course, the kids are so used to, okay, Young Gotti and this guy and Davido and Wizkid, and they're listening to them. So how do you compete with that? You compete with it by going back, because that's what they did. You go back, check your tradition, check the traditional music, and trust me, you're going to come out with something. Everybody's sampling today, but we have a lot of music people who actually play these songs, who know how to play these songs. Or take an incredible musician and integrate with them to get the sound that you want. And that's what I did as well. I'm not the only keyboard player, drum machine player, or if he play the drums, I'm gonna call him to give me the sound that I want. I'm not gonna try and do it myself. That's integration, y'all. I'm gonna call my buddies. That's why I'm like, I need everybody's number, because I work with everybody. I don't work with just one crew. I integrate and network with everyone, because that's how you're gonna get the best music. 2 ears is better than one. Am I right or wrong?
Damn right.
So even with mixing, I mix my songs, but I also have a second pair of ears or a third pair of ears, and we're all in there just putting our ears to it, because that's how you know you got it. Because you can't decide that yourself. You think you can, but you're going to have somebody else listen to it and say, yo, what do you think? I know you all do that. I do it. I'm not ashamed to say that I'm going to call M2May. I'm going to call somebody and say, yo, what do you think of this? I call my engineer every week. Check this out, man. Do I got it right sonically? Because now music is starting to sound the same. And if we don't get out of that, you're going to be 1 in a million. And somebody's not going to make it. 999,000. You know what I'm saying? 1 will make it, or 2 may make it. So that's integration, and that's why I always say integration, because that's where it's going. Technology is nothing but integration. So.
Thank you very much. DJ Pius has a microphone. Then we're gonna go to after Pius, we go to the oldest teenager. After DJ Pius.
Thank you. I want to start by welcoming you to our beautiful country. I hope you enjoyed it. And so you know this is the best country in Africa.
Of course.
Thank you for choosing Rwanda.
This is Wakanda.
Yeah, it's the heart of Africa, so you're in the center of everything. If you want to start from here and then you spread. Yeah, so I'm very happy to be here. I'm going to give a short story, so from the story you can get like 1 or 2 or 3 questions. First of all, I play music. When I was a young DJ, I used to play, I know many people who made weddings from your songs. First of all, I wanted to say that at the beginning of this year, during this tough period, I got a chance to watch your full verses, and I picked a lot of information from that show because I appreciate you both as producers, songs that I loved. So from that whole show, I learned a lot that you've done. Also, after that show, I went and did some research about you. And me, I'm a producer, had 3 or 4 sessions about you. So I know you very much. So thank you for inspiring me as a musician and as a DJ. So the question is about the copyrights and how you treat, use your songs. For example, Human Nature, then SWV, then maybe to Chris Brown, they've used a track which sounds like it's almost the same. So do you keep up with all your music, and how do you treat people who want to use your songs? Because we might have legends here who have good music, but maybe they might not understand the concept of trying to work with the new generation in using their products. They might be too complicated, or they might be to share the music so we can learn from it. So the thing that I want to ask you is, it's not even a question, it's a request that maybe the next time you come here, when it's not this, when we don't have COVID around, we can fill up this place and do a concert with 1 or 2 of your musicians.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Like I said, yeah, like everybody here, we're just very thankful that you really took time in your life and visited this part of the world. From my background, there was a time I used to tour with the Stax people, like the Rufus Thomas, Carla Thomas, Eddie Floyd, and this was great. So when you guys came up with paying tribute to Bill Withers and all that, and integrating, like you were saying, that was a great time. And so seeing what almost 30 years later, now you still in that groove and that vision. It's and since my brother there introduced me as the oldest teenager, I'm very happy that I can see another old teenager stage now. But would you consider also that maybe the next thing would be a larger integration as it comes to, okay, Africa, like the rest of the world, moved at a certain time to another continent, which is the Americas. Integrated somehow, blended somehow, with tears and blood, and also happy stories. And in the what made it happen, it was because you were in a universe at the end of the stomach. So it's all about how much you sell, how much you can produce, and all that. You've been through there. And thanks God, our brothers went through the fields to now being amongst the biggest billionaires, and at least from the creative industry. Great. Would you also consider now that you open up and not staying on what works for a majority of people because you simplify it and you in 4, but you could go into 8, and if you stay long in Rwanda or you come and visit, you will, Popo and the school and all that, discover that the richness and the depth of this tradition that go from 3 to 9 to 11 and stuff like that, stuff that would not sell in a majority of people, but at least where we as black people, humanity, who have been denied that depth, that approach to see where, you know, and how deep we are. We're not just boom, check, boom, check. There is more between heaven and earth in our world, you see. So would you also consider that this integration is also about transmission of memory, and going get deeper into that? I won't ask you about the snare, the sound that you introduced into Michael Jackson music, but I'm happy we can discuss about the roots that in fact keeps us moving and keeps you actually, you and brothers and sisters from the other side of that ocean. This is where everything started.
Well, to answer your question, I come from the traditional world of making music because I was in the studio with artists like Kool and the Gang and M. Tume and Patrick Adams mixing Somebody and also Crown Heights Affair. A lot of people don't know who that is. And Mass Production. But coming from that, I know how to record on a 24 track, as well as taking it down to the computer. And I'm a Mac and PC user. And I kind of integrated my Mac and my PC together because I started out with Logic. In fact, the second black producer to be on Logic, and it wasn't called Logic, it was called eMagic.
There we go, baby, come on.
And it's Notator. That's when it wasn't no sound, it was just, and I'm gonna show y'all some pictures of my setup when I worked with Michael Jackson, because it wasn't Logic. It was no sound, it was just a sequencer. And I did remember the time on eMagic Notator. And I had this whole setup, it looked like these speakers, all SB 1200s and all MPC 60s and S3000s, 2500s, and all of that just in a rack. And I used them all. When I did the day, I pretty much had everything that I needed as far as sounds are concerned, because my own New Jack Swing drum sounds, and I just took it from like all of the songs that I've done with Guy and Keith Sweat, and I just kind of evolved into making more sounds. And now today I'm maybe 100 and something thousand sounds. And you know, you guys, when y'all come to the studio, because we will set up a server where you guys can actually research the sounds. You know, that's how deep I am with sounds. Because I realized when we started going into the box. Everybody know what going into the box is, right? When we started going into the box, I said, nah, the sound is not the same. The sound is kind of watered down. So how could I Apple? I was there with Greg Tees, and it changed the actual quantization. They changed a lot of the mechanisms in Logic. And that's when I left Logic, and I went to Steinberg. I went to Cubase.
Okay.
I wasn't, you know, the best at it, but I knew that the same guys who created Logic is the same people who created Cubase, same people who created Studio One.
Right. Exactly.
So now I went from Cubase to Studio One, which is, to me, everything, because it's a sound designer, but at the same time, it's a composer. You can compose anything with it because now it's integrated with Notion. Now you can actually do your string parts, you can do your everything. And it also has, you know, my favorite, the vocoders and all the crazy stuff that I like to do. And I would love for you all to check it out if you don't have it, but a lot of producers have moved to that, or Fruity Loops, which I also in Fruity Loops as well. I try everything. I'll wake up one day and say, I want to just be on an MP. And that's how we feel as music people. There's no time, there's no direction and creativity. So one day you may feel this way. Don't limit yourself to making music. Don't limit yourself to being on just a computer. Let's get out and do some manual things. Play percussions. I keep percussions in my studio. And the reason why, because a lot of the producers and music makers don't use percussions. They don't go back to the tradition of music. And that's the reason why it's sounding the same, because we're not going to the tradition of music. So, any other questions? It doesn't matter. And I'm gonna be here. I'm coming back, and when I come back, we can all sit in a room and just, or we can go to the school and hang out with the kids because they understand and they get it. And let's have it. I see. Oh, okay.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Teddy Riley. My name is DJ Adams, and it's nice seeing you in Rwanda. It's nice seeing you face to face. I've been your fan since 1992. I was still a young boy, and that is, by then I was still a young boy, but 1992 I was like 15. I was like 1992. Your music from all along. Probably I've dated so many girls using some of your songs. Yeah, and it's real. This is like your 1997 song, Don't Leave Me. I know some girl who I told, don't leave me, and in fact, she never left me. And yeah, that is real. Now, you have come to Rwanda, you have been in the US. We are not going to industries because the US is very big. Rwanda is still very small. Even if you could compare America with Rwanda, America with the whole of Africa, you'll still find that Africa is still. But now, on your way from the US, coming to Rwanda, maybe you had an idea of what kind of music is in Rwanda, what kind of instruments that we have in Rwanda. I don't know which of them did like of all those. You're the one who started New Jack Swing, something which hit across the world. Now in Rwanda, I don't know what you are talking about integration. I don't know what we can integrate with what we have, or what you think you will help us integrate with what we already have, so that we can get from Rwanda and go straight to maybe across the world. In fact, we really want to be across the world or outside Rwanda. We don't want our music to be landlocked like our country. We just want to get further than that. Now, last but not the least, you could be telling us what you really, when you talk about industry, you see just behind it, industry players meet and greet with Teddy Riley. You're going to tell us the formation industry, because maybe we talked about having an industry, maybe we think we have an industry in Rwanda, or maybe we are doing something that is not exactly what we're supposed to be doing, so that we can have the right industry or the right setup, so that we can have good music. Thanks a lot, Teddy. Once again, welcome back to Rwanda.
Okay. I have to say this. I feel like we've music for the longest, and we start categorizing it when music shouldn't be categorized. Music is music, and I feel like there's no bad music out there. It's the combination, and it's actually, and I keep saying this word, it's actually integration, and I'll tell you why. Most times people have good music, but they may not have the actual image to bring that music across. I always say to a lot of people, it's not about how great your music is. It's really about how you can make people believe it's you who did it. So it's not how great it is, it's how you look doing it. So what comes with you doing the music that you're doing is the image. How are you bringing that music across? Do you dress, or do you have the image of your music? That's what the importance is of making music, because, I mean, example, I put Blackstreet together, and we all had 2 left feet. We all couldn't dance. And I'm just giving you what I had to do to artists develop. And that's the one thing that the music industry is missing. It's artist development. Because most people have good music, but they don't have the combination with the music. So when you step out, your package is not right. Do y'all get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what's going to count. And it's not going to take just me coming in to help with the music or coming in to help with the image or whatever it is. It's a whole combination and away from who you are. You're an artist. I got to go off of what you are to take that music, match your image. And that's what I did all my life with all of the artists that I work with. And it's funny, but I also did it with Michael for the Dangerous album. I was the most nervous working with Michael because I didn't know that I had, the creative control for the Dangerous album. So Michael wearing a t-shirt and keep it in the closet with his hair pulled back was my idea. And the reason why it was my idea, because I said, why is it that artists always hide themselves? We don't need to hide. We are beautiful people, and we have to show that. So how do you bring that out? So Michael asked me, what should I use for the album cover? Now, he did a photo shoot week. He did a week photo shoot and all these great pictures, and he asked me, what do you think? Which picture should I use for cover? And I was nervous, but I told him, I said, no, you're that artist that can take a photo shoot, do a photo shoot, and the kids are going to put your pictures on the wall. So that's not your album cover. Your album cover is the thing that you was working on. He was sitting in his doggone office making a collage, and that album is a collage. I said, that's the album cover. I said, you need to go in your room and get that collage. Oh, I didn't expect that from him. I like it. I think I like it. So that from when I made the music, it was a chance. It was a chance that I took of making music and just doing what I felt. Same thing you all gotta do. Don't think that you have to go by the book. Music is not by the book. Unless you're reading music and you're going to do a session with a 70-piece orchestra. But music has no color line. It doesn't have any direction. You can go in that you want. As long as you're relating the notes and you're relating the sound, you're going to always win with it. Try it. Some people just don't try it. Like, nah, I ain't with that. Next thing you know, somebody else did. I should have done it. And he took it. And he made a hit with it, and you didn't, because you didn't try it. So
I started coming here about 8 years ago. And one of the first things that I noticed when I came here was the things that I recognized from home, the school in Nyundo, we used to have, and so they would be playing their stuff, and they'd be playing a lot of covers from America, and and did the traditional songs. And soon as they broke into their traditional songs, the whole room would go, hey, and everybody started dancing. And
there you go.
So what that reminded me of is growing up as a child. I grew up in church, so on Wednesday nights we used to go to prayer meeting. Somebody would start a song, and everybody would join in and do the. And it just, for me, it made me recognize some things that are genetic about black people, and about how they couldn't beat that out of us. That ability for us to come together over music. So for me, music is a community. It's not really a competition. It's not about it's about how we come together as a community. So I'm just wondering, I keep hearing you say integration, and I'm thinking that that's what you mean. And so I'm wondering, that's my question.
African music is the root. African music is the root. We got it from Africa. It all came from Africa. Back in the day, out with a song. And then a white artist will do the same song and it goes all the way, and become big. I'll give you an example. You know you make me wanna shout, clap my hands, wanna shout. What's the two groups? Thank you. And who else? Huh? And who else? To make you get them here, you gotta have something for them to come here. You gotta have studios, you gotta have the manufacturing companies and things for them. That's what it's about. And I know it's gonna start with what we're gonna do. And once it starts, trust me, I've built studios many places and everybody, but they didn't know that I bought my own speakers, I bought my own keyboards, and I bought my own setup, and they went in there, it was like, I wanted to sound like Teddy Riley. Yo, get my head. I'm like, nah, you didn't get what I got. I took my stuff over there, and I created the No Diggity album in Trinidad, my album in Trinidad. I love to travel and make music. Why? Because you get the vibes of that territory. You get those vibes. Try it, y'all. Go to Cape Verde, go to different places, but make Rwanda music. See, Rwanda can have a sound, and it's gonna have a sound. And they're gonna know it came from Rwanda. See, because everything is coming from Nigeria, South Africa, all these different places. It's time for Rwanda to take a stand in music and entertainment and acting and everything. Now, if y'all notice, there's work for everybody.
Go ahead and clap. Come on.
There's work for everybody in this place. Why? Do y'all notice a lot of the African movies don't have soundtracks or scores? What happened? That's because we're not taking the responsibility. We're not taking the responsibility to put the music behind the movies. That's why, and I'll tell you why. My mother watched African films 24/7. She don't watch nothing else. So that's how I knew it was to say, okay, I need to go to Africa because my mother is giving me she's just giving me that solution. Is like, you gotta get out. Get out and explore your music and take it where it needs to go. Or you're gonna be stuck in a cage where you're at. So that's why I feel integration is very important, because it doesn't consist of just music. It consists of music, image, technology, and all the things above. Soundtracks. What happened to soundtracks? That's because you're not taking the responsibility. We used to do soundtrack. I was probably on more than 20 soundtracks because they needed music from you. I contributed and we made one album out of it. Now we're not doing it. And soundtracks still today sell more than records and albums. But we're not doing it. So that's what I mean. Film business, when it comes here, we now have the composers. Why go outside and get somebody that's known? That's the industry standard. They always get somebody that's hot, and next thing you know, they have a whack soundtrack because they thought his music was gonna work for that movie, and it didn't. You gotta keep it inside. Jackson.
Yeah, before we go to Vastai, we had a lady going to ask a question, but somehow there's a question you forgot to answer from a DJ Pius. Teddy, there's a question you forgot to answer. It was about copyright. Yeah, and you coming here doing a show. Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's about how we. Okay, in the 80s, I met King Sunny Ade and Fela in a world where suddenly in Europe they had invented world music. World music was black music. You see, so that means African music. It's not black American now.
That's right.
Exactly. So world music. We met with King Sunny, and I said, "Hey, Sunny, man, how you doing? Are you cool touring Europe and all?" And he said, "Bro, every time I release an album in Nigeria, I'm a millionaire. So what the fuck, man? Here I'm here for that's the ice, but I have the cake at home. You see? So that was Nigeria in those days. No piracy. I mean, very very small one because you had to put needle on the record. So you couldn't copy the record. So every time, even if you had $1 and he was selling 1 million albums, he was making money. But for the rest of Africa, that's where we have failed to crack how to generate revenue, especially in these days. So the copyrights, all of these great artists here are doing a great job, but what do they get in return for it? Can they sustain it? So I guess that's part of the question.
Well, there certainly have to be a copyright society for Rwanda in order for us to keep the IP here. And, you know, all the different territories need copyright societies and mechanical societies so that you are making money from your music, whether it plays in supermarket or department store or anywhere. So we need to have a society here, you know, like ASCAP, CSAC, and everybody's going to ASCAP, everybody's going to CSAC, and that's the reason why a lot of American companies are coming over here to what? Integrate. They're trying to infiltrate. It's the same thing as a recycle. They're infiltrating, they're trying to, because it's going to be a hit artist, and it's going to be top artists from Rwanda. And you know what's going to happen? A company from some territory is going to come, sign that artist or try to sign that artist. If we don't do the society, and if we don't take the responsibility to how you say, govern our music here, we're not governed. Isn't that right? Is that what you're saying? Because he was asking about copywriting, right? Copyrights and... Oh, no. Right. Well, that's because I'm with CSAC. So CSAC is one of the companies that they track music not only through manually, but also technology. And that's the reason why I left ASCAP. It's because ASCAP has a traditional way. They have people sitting at the desk talking about, oh, nah, and they're gonna miss something. But the technology doesn't miss anything by the code. So we have to have that here, so that it's not duplicated and it's not stolen, and you're getting paid for every play of your music. So that's what we have to start with. And like I said, it's going to take us all. I know at least everybody at camp know about administration, know about music mechanics. We can develop that here, and then once you do that, then you make it a company or a society and a platform that will matter in America, so that when your music play in America, it's getting paid right back here in Rwanda.
Yes, me. Hello. Hi, my name is Kaya. I'm an artist, a singer, to be specific. And the question that I have might be a little personal, but I think there are some other musicians who have the same question as I. Most of the times when I tell people I'm a singer, they're like, what kind of music do you do? And personally, I'm into more into adventure. I want to try every type of music, not rap because I can't, but every type of music that I'm able to do, I want to discover it and see how it works. And my question is, how did you come to discover the type of music that you do? To be able to answer that question, like what type of music do you do? And be able to have an exact answer, like I do this type of music, because personally I don't. Maybe because I'm new in music industry, but like just because I also want to try many music genres. But how did you get to that point where you be like, I do this type of music? Thank you.
Well, going back to what I said as far as music is concerned, it's how I feel that day. And if I feel like I want to do hip hop. I started out in hip hop, worked with a lot of the hip hop artists from New York, California, and I didn't want to do R&B until Keith Sweat came to me and said, "Man, I want you to try some for my album." And I know that have done that and done it successfully was Michael. Then he did music, how you would say, island music, Caribbean music. He didn't stop. He did hip hop. He was all over the place like me. Be all over the place, because one place is going to work. If you limit yourself to doing just one thing, you'll never know what you're missing. You're going to miss because you have the voice, you have the musicianship, you have the skills to actually do anything that you want in music. Just try it. I tried it. I tried No Diggity. That was a blues song. My guy, including my partner, Jimmy Iovine, he wanted to release Money Can't Buy Me Love. He wanted to be safe. I'm not a safe. I don't like being safe. I like to try. You got to try things. I came here by faith. I didn't come here. I didn't take a chance. I just came. And I know I want to move here. It's like you got to determine, hey, yo, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it whether you like it or not. So if Rwanda don't want me here, out on the street in Rwanda, and just, not let them know I live here, just keep to myself. Because I do it anyway in America. I never come outside. This is my first trip out of the country. Right, guys? First time on a plane.
Come on.
COVID. That's because I come by faith. I step into whatever, and if I'm going to get shot, I'm just going to get shot. But I'm going to keep moving to where I need to go and where God is putting me. Because that's how I work. I work through my spirit. I don't work through calculations and flesh. It's about my spirit, man. Because if you don't work with your spirit, you ain't going to go where you need to go. Because you don't know what God have in store for you.
We are glad you're here. We are glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Aren't we glad he's here, though? Yeah. Plus, you really look like an artist from here by the name Tom Close. So, doesn't he look like Tom Close?
And the thing about it as well, I've never been somewhere and was able to just jump right in, especially with these kids. When I went to that school, man, I could have stayed to that school. I could have stayed there all day and just did music with them. We've just been rocking out and having fun. That's what it's made of. It's organic. It's whatever you want to do. And these kids did what they wanted to do, and they showed me, even when they did the cover song, How Deep Is Your Love? And that kid's voice is the most incredible voice. And he just got up there. He didn't care what I thought. None of them kids got on that thing caring what I thought. They just did it because It's what the teacher and what the instructors, like, listen, go ahead, do your thing, don't even worry about it. And he sat back with confidence, like, these are my kids. I got the picture. He said, these are my kids. America can't do that. He'd be like, these are my kids. I hope you guys got it together because Mr. Riley is in the building. And not him, because he have confidence. He have faith. We've been dealing by flesh, y'all. You deal by faith because you already got it in you. You taught the kids. All I kept doing was asking them questions. What for real? And he just said, yeah, it's just how they feel, you know. And sometimes it's in your DNA. You're not here for nothing. It's in your DNA. You just got to bring it out.
Thank you so very much. Let's take, he's been traveling for a couple hours, and I know he says he's not tired, but we'll take maybe 2 more questions. Will that be all right? Then he'll come and meet you. And then Bruce, well, we haven't got questions from promoters, so we'll get one, but let's get one from Vasta here, another guest, and then we'll take one from our brother here, from Lubumbashi, and then if Doreen allows, then we can take Bruce's question. Vasta.
I got to tell you something. Everybody's like, yo, you tired? I just got out of the car. I'm so hyped. You know why? Because music is like an adrenaline. If you don't feel music that way, stop. If it's just something you're doing because your homie is doing it, stop. Do it because you feel it and you know what you're about to do is going to be a nuclear. Music is like a time bomb. It is not going to blow up unless you detonate it. It is not going to blow up. Music is, and when the music becomes the star, that's when you are. So make your music the star before you become one. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Because most people come out and be like, yo, my music is hot. Yo, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. Yo, they come in the club, it's like, yo, I'm B-Funk. I'm the best of Rwanda. No. You go in there and let the music speak for itself. And when that music speaks for itself and it's playing in the club, that's when you can go, yeah, I'm B-Funk. And, by the way, that's my song on the radio. Let the music be the star. I'm telling y'all, I never ever say my music is a hit. Ever. Never in life. I say, yo, this is a hit. I just believe in it. No diggity, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, y'all. I just know that it felt good. And does it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A lot of the music that you do feel good. You just got to believe in it. Because when you believe in it, then everybody else will. It's like when you love yourself, that's when somebody loves you. Love your music, man. I'm going to show you how to love the music. Y'all see me in the studio, trust me. I'm 54 years old. And I'm still running tracks and doing crazy stuff. And you'll be like, dang, this dude's still doing stuff like he's 12 years old or 13, 16 years old, still making tracks. That's because it's in the DNA. And it's like I wake up, I eat, sleep-ish music. Sorry, I don't curse. But that's what I do every day. I take a shower, I listen to music. I'm in bed, I listen to scriptures, I listen to just everything that I can that gives me knowledge while I'm asleep. So when you sleep, play things that is going to educate and take your mind like so far. My brother will tell you, I'll sit with my phone and I'll play African music in my sleep. That's how you learn music. If you know it in your sleep, you're going to know it when you get to the keyboard, when you get to the computer, and it's going to be right for you. Because you already thought it out. It's already been in your mind. The mind is a hard drive, y'all. The brain is a hard drive. And it's nothing but information that's going in there. And the moment you put wrong information in there, that's what's going to come out. I'm telling y'all, I had an argument, it came out in the record. That's how y'all got Don't Leave. I got home from Trinidad, my girlfriend, my fiance was cheating on me. And I made the record reverse, because it was her saying, don't leave me, because I was leaving. But I turned it around and made a twist like they did with Scarface. Scarface was about a woman. Did y'all know that? So they switched it because it wouldn't have been strong if they had that woman. It wouldn't have been strong if I had been like, don't leave me, boy. So we did it that way. And that's how I think of music. I just, all right, let's flip it. That's his, he went through that. I didn't go through that. So I got to talk to him to see how they broke up so I can write about it. Write about what's real to you. And it's going to come out because people are going to feel it. So that's my philosophy when it comes to music. And when we do this workshop, you'll see it for yourself. We're going to rock out. We're going to have some fun. And you'll know anything comes out. I don't care what it is. It's music. And I don't know why we've been categorized for all these years. They took disco out. They took club off the charts. They took African music off the charts, just to name. You know why? Because they don't want us to be ahead. That's why they have EDM and all these things that they came up with. The same thing that happened to R&B is the same thing that happened with schools in America. They took music out of the schools, right? So he's trying to take music, and this all started 1991. It was a meeting, and you know, I'm sure you all have been on the internet and heard a lot of people talk about this meeting to actually take the music and take groups. You don't see groups no more, do you? We lost groups. We used to have over 50 groups. Boyz II Men, Blackstreet, 112, you know, New Kids on the Block. We don't have none of that no more. So I tell you, they're trying to deteriorate black music. So we have to actually now fight back. And we got to bring it out and bring it strong. And that's why I moved from there, because everything you do in America now is just such a small place. And it's big, but everybody's doing the same thing. And everybody want to be this, you know, the hip-hopper, sagging pants and coming off your butt, and that's cool to the chicks and all of that type of stuff. We don't need to do that. All you need to do is let that music speak for itself, and it's going to do it. So.
Valentine.
Hey, Teddy. It's so good to see you here, brother. My name is Valentine Jackson. I'm from Mississippi in America, and I'm not going to take long with this, but I just want to share something with you because it comes from the spirit realm before business. Our uncle, our godfather, our mentor, Benjamin Wright in L.A., who Earth, Wind, and Fire, Gladys Knight, Michael Jackson, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, all of that. Anyway, I was at Ben's house, and I was going to Vegas, and Ben says, listen, Teddy is in Vegas, so when you get to Vegas, you look Teddy up. Well, I got to Vegas. Teddy was not in Vegas. So here I am in Rwanda for about 2 weeks. Who do I bump into?
At Soy, my favorite spot.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like a family thing. It's like a spiritual thing, you know what I mean? For us to be here. It's the spirit that drives this. It's the epigenetic memory. It's the Holy Spirit, you know what I mean? And the fruit of that will be revealed in every good way. So I'm just thankful to God for bringing Teddy here, for bringing me here. And I thank my brother Raul Rogamba for inviting me here. Having said that, I'm going to keep it short. Very important question. When is your projection for the factory media studio, soundstage? When is it gonna open?
Well, we're looking at a music city and a music operation that will incorporate us all. And that's the reason why I want everyone's information, your email, your social media, you all. And the reason why, because it's going to take us all to really make something big like this happen. It's going to take everybody participating. This is a work in progress. I mean, everything has been going so wonderful, you know, and I don't even want to go back home. You know, it's like when you feel this, it's like, dang, I'm going to go and come right back. And that's the feeling that I got as soon as I stepped foot on the soil of Rwanda. So I can only tell you, I looked at houses yesterday, and I seen a house that I love, and all I seen was my mother. It's all, you know, we have a house in Vegas, and she lives on one side of the house, and I live on the other side, which is the noisy side. You know, I have the studio, and I have 3 studios in my home. So I'm still gonna have a studio in my home because sometimes, you know, I want y'all to have the studio, and then I'll come in and jump in where I fit in, and we just have some fun. But most times I like to roll out of the bed. I like to roll out of the bed and do music. So I'll tell you how close my studio is in my bedroom. So this is my bedroom, and my studio is in this room right here. And that's all inside my master bedroom. And I'm a hate giving up that house, but I know that this house is going to give me what I need, but the actual studio is going to give me even more. What we all need is us to get together, musicians. It's about musicianship. And then one thing that I kept was the loyalty to musicians. So I don't do tracks. I always chant because that's who lose. When we have computer music, everybody think about the computer music and they don't think about the musicians. And that's where we lose also with the sound of music. We have to use musicians. We have to like bring everyone together where we're making it. That's what Afro beats and African music is about. The congas, the timbales, the everything, just all in one. That's why I love African music so much. Like, I don't even have to do R&B at all, because I'm gonna integrate it into African music. And with that little twist, it's gonna make something else. And we will be on this side, and that will be still sounding the same. If you all just try something just off the Richter of just African music, it's gonna win. I've been watching Trace since I've been here. I watch everything, and a lot of my friends are on the charts, and they're all on that playlist. And I'm looking at, you know, a lot of the artists up there, Davido and Wizkid and all these guys I know, and they're trying to do different, which I love, especially Folly, and especially there's an artist from here. I think if I had that record, I would be playing it like back to back to back to back because it's so incredible. It's different. I'll get the names because I've just watched videos and I'll Shazam it. Matter of fact, my Shazam got it. I Shazam everything, y'all, and I Shazam every song that I felt like, okay, that's a good direction. That's a dope direction right there. That's a hot direction. That's different if they tried this. So that's what I feel like we're going to come out with. We're going to come out with something that is just so different, and then it becomes your sound. It becomes a Rwanda sound. And don't think that Rwanda can have like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 different styles. You can. Styles can go, it has so many, it can be infinite. Just do it. Try to sound different from what's on the radio and watch what happens for you. You will stand out. That's the reason why when Beyonce, did African music, she did Afro beats, and she just dabbled into it. And what happened? It became something that she didn't expect. And now people are saying, wow, Beyonce is the all-around world musician, world artist. Because she stepped out and she tried something different. And it started with The Lion King. And then she just said, no, this is not going to do. I'm going to do a whole African album. And it worked. So it's about what you do is just do it. And I guarantee you it'll work. So, anyone else?
Yeah, over here.
And I'm gonna say it again, please, everyone. I don't know who can take the information. Maybe somebody from the team. But if you can, I need everybody's information so that when we do start this up, you're not forgotten. You know what I'm saying? I want to see everybody in the studio. And it ain't going to be where you all got to pay sick money and all of that type of stuff. It'll be affordable so that you all can come in and actually explore your music. Sometimes we got to get out of our own comfort zone, come into a studio and work with others. You're never great until you start working with others. That's what makes you great. If you know how to work with anyone, then you know how to do any type of music.
Hey Teddy, we want to thank you for considering Rwanda. Yes, I know we need to wrap it up, so we'll stop with question. I want to insist on the request we have here for you to come back for a show. And by saying that, I'm excited for our fellow artists that now we are going to come up with something good because Teddy Riley had contributed to it now. So we also have another request where, as promoters or event planners, we're also trying to do like big events and festivals on an international level. So we also need to think about that and also have some of your team members to come over when you come, so that once we have big artists, but we can also produce big events.
Well, let me say something about that, because that was also the reason why this became really attractive to me. Was, they were talking about doing a Rwanda festival, integrating artists from America and artists from Africa, all in one place. And I was called to be a part of it because I did this in actually New Orleans for the Essence Festival. And we sold out 2 years in a row, the Superdome, which is 85,000 seats. And I just said, you know what, we can actually take this to another territory. And I didn't want to do it in the States. I wanted to do it here. So when they mentioned it, I said, this will be something great to do, but I also want to integrate, just like how they do at the Essence. So we have a building like this, but we have other like performance rooms or things like that, where we have new artists and artists like the kids from the school. So with the Music City, it would incorporate new artists from out of the country, because that's what we're trying to do, is bring the tourists. We were trying to bring everyone to Rwanda. I don't care about anywhere else, I'm sorry. We're trying to bring everyone here so that they can see this is where it needs to happen. So the festival, come, be a part with it. Let's do it all together, because that's how it's going to be successful. If we don't put it together with us all, somebody else is going to try and do it, and someone else is going to try and do it here, because they know this is the spot to be. So we need to do it, and it's going to start with, the Rwanda officials, and it's going to really be big, because I just don't believe in doing anything small. I want it to be big, but also we want to make our artists here big. So that's how you do it.
Amen.
You have the artists from out of the country coming here, they're going to look at the artists that's here. So that's how we all will get known to outside world and the other territories. So they'll all come here, but they're going to know that we got our stuff together. So. Listen, we can take that to the next level, and that's where we'll start from. You know what I'm saying? You got to start from where we're successful. Because, I mean, I can't do it all myself. I know how to do a festival, and I have a team of people, but if we got it here, we're going to utilize it here. Of course, we know how to do all the other stuff. The back lines is, you know, we know how to do this. Music people, we're creative in that aspect. So this is where we'll start from, and we'll take it to the top and start really putting this down on paper so that it becomes something that we would do, and it will be a year annually. Especially if I'm going to be here, I need something. We need to have festivals and things that's going to bring people here, because that's what I was brought here for, so that I can bring the other celebrities and people from the States and outside of the States, bring them here. This is going to be the attraction, like it's always been.
Thank you so very much, Teddy. This is great to hear. It's really great to hear. Let's hear a question from our brother over here. Then we'll give the microphone to Bernard. Close it up.
Hi, Mr. Teddy Riley. It's a pleasure to have you here. I have a question. I would like to know, and I believe many of my brothers and sisters here, Africans, are curious. We are often promised many things by foreigners that come to our continent and tell us so many great things they can do, they want to do, they want to be involved, and so on and so forth. I know it's not your case, but my point is I would like to hear from you. Africa has a big problem today. Africa is the youngest continent, on the planet, okay? But the biggest problem is we don't have dreams. In America, the African community, what they've done well through music and sports, of course, was to give the blacks the opportunity to dream. Because of that dream, today in 2020, 21, we have plenty of successful African American in many, many fields. But of course, Africa is following up the footstep of what the USA have done. It's just, a natural thing. So my question is, how you, Teddy Riley, are seeing the impact that you can have here in Africa, Rwanda being the base for you, in closing down the disparity between, because Africa has rich and poor. We don't have the middle class. But in order for us to be successful, we have to have the middle class. What and how do you see your value and apport in this continent being based in Rwanda? Thank you.
It's going to be in the music smart city, creating jobs for the class that is missing. And that's how you create the middle class. You have to create the jobs. You have to create the missions for the people who are not, and they're very talented, but they don't have. It's like the musicians, like the kids go to school and they learn everything there is to know, and the next thing you know, they can't get a job. So how do we create that? We have to create it through the smart city, the music city, where we have these venues to put them in where people are going to come to. There's not a lot of places for us to go to have entertainment. So we have to create that. And that's what's going to create the middle class. That's going to create the poor going into the middle class, going into wealth. And I've seen it in the States, but now it's going to be hard in the States. It's not going to be hard here because here it is. We don't have a music city here, do we? We don't have a smart city here where it's not just about the music, it's about the things that's evolving around the music that make you all creative people love doing your music every day. I love doing music, and I can go down the street and go bowling or go play some pool or go do this or play some top golf or whatever it is, because that's a part of creativity. I don't want to go to the strip spots. I don't want to go to the clubs. And some people just don't want to go to the clubs. That's just not us as music people. But we want to be somewhere where we can hear some music that is going to, take our creativity to that next level. So that's what we're that's what we're creating.
Thank you so very much. Let's hear a word from Bernard.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
My name is Bernard Alexander. I am a guest of Teddy Riley's. I manage Teddy Riley. I'm actually his partner. Ever since he called me and said, Bernie, we're going to Rwanda, and we are being brought there with Visit Rwanda. And with Visit Rwanda, we're going to have the experience of Rwanda firsthand. And I didn't know what that meant. Since we've touched ground, I've been amazed. Giving us everything that Deb and Mr. Big Man have shown us and told us that was going to happen. It happened. All the way down to the gorillas today has been absolutely amazing. Going to Popo and seeing those gentlemen and young ladies in that school treat Teddy, who created this thing called New Jack Swing, sitting there as a kid from the ghetto with nothing but to do music, nobody giving him anything, but he did have a dream. As I discovered Akon, who had a dream that nobody believed in, as I discovered the Fugees that nobody believed in, that suffered a whole bunch of times before they hit that next album, Blunted on Reality did nothing. Then came the score. Then it happened. Talked to Wyclef yesterday sitting at dinner. He called in. He was like, yo, go there. He's a big fan of this place, as he did the song with Hotel Rwanda. He's a big fan of the president and his wife. He knows this place very well. Him and Teddy talked yesterday. What Teddy's goal is, America here. There's 8 billion people in the world. There's 330 million people in America. There's 1.4 billion people in Africa. You know those numbers. When you said the numbers and you were talking about America, I was like, I want to stand up for you more than anything. Africa is everything. That's right. We couldn't wait to come to Africa. Teddy said, Bernard, we're bringing our kids to Africa. We need to get our passports in Africa. Forget what we got with you. You're clapping. We can't wait to get here. Teddy said he don't want to go back. You're laughing. He's dead serious. He's ready to bring our influence, our infrastructure, our relationships, our information, and give it. He's 50, I'm 50. We have another half of our life. We're going to live to 100. He don't look like he's 50. I know I look 30. His innovation, his ideation, with him and Popo, the ideas that you guys have coming to the table, the questions that you guys had going, the reason that Professor Blake even came here from a school like Berkeley. Berkeley's the thing that births everything in America. Berkeley's the #1 music school in the world. It just happens to, which he's from in the United States, but he's here in this little old town that you're talking about, called Rwanda. He's here, not in the States. That means something. We're coming here. We're going to figure out how. We're not trying to. We're going to figure out how. When's the school opening? When's the infrastructure? It's not just a school. It's not just a studio. It's technology. It's schools. It's information. It's acting. We were talking. Me and Ted was talking about the movie industry, TV industry. Industries have to be born here. People need access. We have access. Teddy and I know everything and everybody. We are a phone call from everybody. You know what I mean? Michael Jackson is watching us right now. That man did remember the time. That's his last hit. Michael Jackson, y'all know who Michael Jackson is. But Michael Jackson ain't in this room? Why ain't he? Why ain't? No. The artist. Who says he ain't here? No. The future. Who said? No, you're missing it. Stop talking then. Respectfully. We're here to discover. We are only as good as our next discovery, forget what we did yesterday. Forget Akon, forget the Fugees, forget 50 Cent, forget Nas, forget Michael Jackson. Who's the next one? We want to discover. We're here to discover, help, and impact and empower. Y'all gonna help us do it? Let's do it. Let's not talk about it, let's be about it. We ain't here to showboat. We ain't got no ego. I'm here checked out in some shorts and socks.
That's right.
Straight from the gorillas.
We came straight from the gorillas.
I ain't got no cologne on.
Nothing.
We ain't got no
we
Hollywood.
funky.
We ain't got no ego. We are reachable. We keep talking about Teddy. Teddy be here all night. He gonna say hello to every last one of y'all. He gonna take a picture with every last one of y'all. We ain't even in a rush to go nowhere. He's here, y'all. Period. Okay, we go see you on the parking lot. I'm done. We're happy to be here.
A big round of applause for Bernard Alexander, yo. You have a heart.
That's that Leo from Brooklyn.
That's my brother, man. I'm telling you, I've seen it happen in Dubai. Everybody started going to. Now everybody's coming to Africa. They're going to Nigeria. They're going to. But we want to bring them here. So everybody think of this as a tour place. We don't want them to think of it as a tour place. We want them to come to the smart city and be like, oh man, I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to bring my camp here. And I'm going to do everything I need to do here so that nobody knows what I'm doing in America. See, this is the best kept secret because you can make music here and release it somewhere and people would never know. That's why African music is always hitting the charts and it's always doing something because nobody know what y'all doing. Unless y'all go to America and major labels over there, that's when they're gonna know what y'all doing. Most of these records, you find all the American records being bootleg. But have y'all seen like the African music being bootleg? Because they don't know what's coming, when is it coming, how it's coming. We're mastering from over here and not here. We're going to have a mastering lab here, the studio, everything one-stop shop. You'll be able to do everything right here. We have all the resources to do it. So. Yes. I need a Rwanda name.
We'll think about it. And then they'll be appropriate. But right now, the oldest teenager in the house. Right now, really, let's also give a big round of applause to RDB for bringing this guest here. I like the fact that they mentioned Michael Jackson, but there's also all others, great names that have been looking over into this country, knowing what we went through in the last few years.
By the way, it's also good to share with Teddy and Bernard and the whole team that what made Rwanda to make it possible ever since '94 to get to here is that we got one message from our people is think big, stay together.
Think big, stay together, leave no one behind, and homegrown solutions. That's Rwanda. So right now, we'd like to hear from our sister, Belize, who's been a great asset, a great dreamer, visionary. You don't know what's inside this, I was going to say this little girl.
How are you? I feel like singing.
You can sing.
Do you remember the time? Do you remember the time? I think someone mentioned it, that when we had concerts, in rooms and nobody knew what Rwanda was about. Do you remember the time when, everything was chaos? Do you remember the time when we didn't have this place? Do you remember the time when you say you're Rwandan and everyone will look at you like, what? Do you remember the time when we didn't have any music? Do you remember the time when you go to the club and the only thing you hear is either hip-hop from America, whatever, but not a Rwandan song? But things have changed. isn't it? Have things changed or not? Have things changed or not? Have things changed or not? I think it has. And, we ought to be grateful to where we are now. I think if you start talking about the things that have changed over for the country, we will spend the whole night here. But perhaps if you talk about the creative industry, I know I've probably know 90% of the people in this room, and we have had conversation about the things we could do to improve the creative industry. And the thing is that it's such a big industry, and it's challenging for so many reasons. I think Teddy has mentioned it. A lot of you have mentioned it. But I think right now, through the government of Rwanda, through RDB, and especially this brand that has been created, which is Visit Rwanda, we're starting to make up these synergies. The first ones, obviously, is sport. I think you've seen it, and that's what we've started doing. With two great teams, Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain. And slowly by slowly, we're thinking about, not thinking, but we're looking at how we're going to elevate. We've created a film office already in RDB. And just recently, we are looking at music. The few things that will give you hints. The government of Rwanda through RDB last year brought Neo, and it was through Kwitizina. Kwitizina is a homegrown solution from Rwanda, and we brought Neo. Who was here during that concert? Yeah, I think Toxic, Mano, you were here. I had a great time. And we were grateful and honored to have IGIHE to attend. I think that's already the first hint. We have this place that has been established for sport. But I think most times we actually have concerts happening here, except for COVID that happened. So there are hints here and there that the government of Rwanda is really looking into this industry. And if we really focus on the music. Now, moving forward, or fast forward, if I can say that, we got this great opportunity, thanks to Deborah and her in life and in business, to get in touch with Teddy. Now, when we got to hear that Teddy wanted to come to Rwanda, so you can imagine, usually Visit Rwanda team, it's the whole RDB, but most times we're looking at the tourism department. Now we had Teta and Bebina, myself, and other team members. The excitement we had, you have no idea. Two, we're like, okay, is that real? Really? Then Deborah is like, okay, we're getting on a Zoom call. Okay, sure. You can imagine my surprise, I had to collect myself when I saw Teddy's face on the Zoom call. I was like, what? So that's when you start realizing that I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's going to take time, things together, our minds together, and then we do it. So thank you so much, everyone, as well, for all of have an industry, by the way. So I really would like you guys to clap for yourselves. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing the music, keep industry. Turababona. It's 9, almost 9 p.m.
Perfect.
So we have two options.
Is this
we either
the
stay
stadium?
here or we walk to the stadium. So just two options. So, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much again, Teddy. Thank you, Popo, for moderating. And everyone, thank you. Night.
Thank you, Belize.
Thank you so much, Belize.
Everyone give it up for Belize.
Come on. Still have a few minutes to I guess, indulge in whatever you're doing. And you can say hello to Teddy and protocol, COVID protocol observed. You have a question? Okay. You want to kill us? Oh, yeah.
Bro,
That's right. That's right.
Plus a tour. Would you considering taking one?
It was supposed to have been a concert for the president, and he couldn't make it for whatever reason, and I wanted him to come here for this trip, but he said next time he'll come because we're going to work on the record here. So once we get that straight, we're going to build the studio right away. It doesn't take long for me to build a studio and get everything that I need, and I'm ready to work, you know, so that I can get started. But I think we need to have a Rwanda artist to be on that show along with myself, with him, and let's just have some fun with it. And we can have not just one, we can have a few, you know, because this is a Rwanda show. We can have opening acts, and we should champion our artists here to be the opening acts. So that's the goal. So we start in February with that, and I hope y'all like it, and hopefully I'll be able to use some of the people, some of this and producers here and music people here, that we can finish that album here. So yes.
Please, before you leave, can you sing us something?
No.
Like a cappella, something.
No.
There's a keyboard.
No.
There's a keyboard.
No.
We're going to the stadium after.
Listen, yeah,
we're going to the stadium.
We gotta save that. I did that with They Deserve It, and they really like just really impressed me. I was so like mesmerized just by how those musicians and those kids were actually performing, and that's what made me jump in. So if somebody do come up here and, you know, perform something, maybe I'll jump in. But right now, we do not want to end up in the stadium, y'all. Even though
True that.
I want to see what the stadium look like, because I know it's not here. So, It's right next door? Okay.
We are at the stadium
All
right now. So thanks again, Teddy. Thanks again,
Thank
everybody.
you all for having me. And
if you need to take a...
I thank you all for having me, and also, like I said, remember, please give your information so that we can all really stay connected. Because, like I said, it's not going to work unless we all come together. So I know we all have ideas, what you want to see in the Music City or what you want to see in the music studio, that will basically incorporate what you do. So if it's something, what we're going to have, and also in the Music City and the studio, is most producers like to make their music in the studio, but also, man, they may get tired, they want to stay there. So we're creating something where it's sleeping quarters and things that once you have that studio, you'll have a lounge and you'll have a sleeping quarter or a place where you can just like chill while you're making your music. And it's around the clock. So, and that's why I feel like, you know, you all will definitely enjoy having the studio in the Music City, because it's going to be nothing but music people there. And it's your element. We all are aligned. We all age of doing music. But now, let's connect so we can all really be close and aligned. And let's not end up in the stadium. I'm gonna give it up right now.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
We can do pictures. And
yeah. Let's take a picture real quick, please.
Or
don't be shy.
We can just bring everybody up here and do one big picture.
Yeah. I know Carol been wanting to meet you for the last 2 days.